Oh, baby. There it is.
I'm loving it.
There it is.
You were going to get me in the mood.
The only thing, Matt, that can make this intro better is if we were playing it ourselves live.
I mean, I can do some air drums.
In the
I think I
background.
put that on my get to
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey. I love that.
All right, episode 28 of Happy Hour. Here we are.
28. Can you believe that? We're already here.
I can, yeah.
That's nuts. And you're an animal, too. I was, for everyone watching at home, this is our new recruiter, Trey Meier.
Hey.
Give it up. Hey.
Oh, stop it.
So I was telling Trey earlier about your work ethic. Like cranking out these podcasts in less than
Crazy
24 hours. Just constantly editing or on your way to be editing or filming so you can go edit. And it's just like, you're an animal.
Talked you up a lot.
Yeah, I actually picked up the guitar for 10 minutes and took a 10-minute break today.
Oh, dude, is that allowed?
I don't know.
I don't
Whole
know.
10 minutes.
Don't tell anyone.
Well, thanks for joining us. Episode 28 of Happy Hour. We've got a special guest here today, Mr. Trey Meier, on his second day.
Second day.
Second day on the pod. Day 2, huh?
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little about you and, how we cross paths.
Yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, as you said, my name's Trey. I'm the new talent acquisition manager here. I've been doing talent acquisition for, probably a little over 9 years now. Born and raised here in St. Louis, Imperial to be exact.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, honestly, talent acquisition just kind of fell in my lap. I can promise you I did not go to school thinking I'm going to be a recruiter one day. But I love it. I mean, I truly do. I mean, it's just all about changing people's lives, finding that next opportunity for them. And I love being a part of a company like this where when I do that, I'm here with them. And I get to watch it. I get to see their eyes and see the excitement and stuff. So, yeah, I've been doing that for about 9 years now. I, believe it or not, played baseball with Aaron when I was maybe 10 years old, I think we were. So him and I were 10 years old doing some double plays together up the middle. And so we've known each other just from honestly that, and even just we played at rival schools together growing up. So we just knowing each other. I've seen what he's been doing, honestly. Yeah. And I'm also in talent acquisition. So when it comes to connecting with people and networking and just seeing what's going on out there in the world, I mean, I keep an eye on it. And that's where I saw years ago Aaron started this. And I was like, that looks awesome. I'm going to keep up with it. And so that's what, I mean, for the last few years, I mean, I came from a public accounting firm, worked there for about 5.5 years. And the whole time there, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but I always you see what's going on out there in the market and in the world and all that stuff. So I've seen a lot of what's been going on with what Aaron's built, what you've been a part of. And it's looked exciting. And then I saw one day Aaron's like, we could use some help here.
Yep.
And we connected. I mean, everything just from a phone call. I was like, this sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I need to learn more. So, I mean, I come in and I think I was here for 4 hours one day and we were just talking. I mean, talking about how it started, where it's at today, how I could come in and help.
Yeah.
And and then just even walking around here. I mean, just seeing the culture and the vibe of all the guys and the sales room and everything, seeing all the fun stuff around here, just it sold it to me.
Was there one thing that like sealed the deal?
I mean, I will say it was all combined, yes, but when he walked me to the gym floor and turned on the lights and I just saw the Arsenal logo at center court, I'm like, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Can't tell you I've ever worked anywhere that's got a basketball court and everything like that. So, I mean, that was cool from the fun side of things, if you want to talk professional, I mean, just the culture here. I felt it right when I walked in. I mean, I could see everybody having fun, but also working hard. And I mean, that's what brings great results. So yeah, I've reached out to Aaron and I'm like, just with my background and what I know I can do for everybody here. I mean, like, I think this is it.
Yeah.
So we crossed the T's, dotted the I's, and
that's awesome,
here
man.
I am.
That's awesome. Sheesh. Trey's already making waves, man. He's coming in with big ideas. We're really utilizing what we have established already, trying to maximize some of the resources that we've already invested in. So it's been a pleasure working with this guy for the first 2 days. But is there anything that surprised you after, 2 days here?
Honestly, how just much of a foundation's already here.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've always looked at it from the outside looking in, so you can only see so much.
Sure.
Then you walk in here and you just see the infrastructure. You see just the systems you guys are using and built up and all that stuff. And that's why I told Aaron, we've talked a lot over the last 2 days, just about every minute, I feel like. I mean, he's asking me, what do we need to do this, and that? I'm like, I think you have a lot of it already.
Right.
So I think that actually surprised me the most is like, yeah, I mean, you look at it from an outside perspective, seeing what's going on here, and it's awesome. I mean, again, that's what grabbed my attention. But then you actually get in here and you actually see the nitty gritty and seeing what's actually going on here and what you have. And it is surprising, honestly. I mean, it's a newer company. I mean, I wouldn't say startup anymore from my eyes at least. But I mean, it is surprisingly awesome how much you guys have established here in that amount of time.
Yeah, we worked hard. You know, there's some piecework stuff in there, but it served us well. Yeah. And now for an expert to come in and, you know, with a fine-tooth comb, an expert eye come through, it's like, oh, you're doing the right thing here. Maybe we make a tweak here. That's exactly what we're looking for to get to the next level. So, you know, is there anything that you're excited about or, you know, hoping to accomplish, you know, the next year or so?
You know, I think it's just being a part of the ride of taking this business to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were saying, you guys are doing a lot of great things. I've been seeing it. Now I'm a part of it. I think there's things we can do and ideas like we've been talking about the last 2 days that could also help us take it to that next level. So it's just, yeah, I mean, it's just, I've always been excited about talent acquisition. Like I said at the beginning of this, like you help change lives. I mean, essentially that's what you're doing. I mean, that's what sales is. That's what recruiting is. I mean, you're changing lives in a positive way. And so being a part of it here, super excited for it to be able to see people walk in this door that I help bring here and just watch them grow too in their own careers. It's awesome being a part of it, whether it was my last job or jobs before that. When you help bring something, like basically I'm just here to show what's going on here. Yeah. That sells it. Then I usually can be done, honestly, especially when you got something cool like this. I mean, once I get them just walk in the door, I'm like, my job's kind of done. Honestly, you guys built it up to where it's selling itself, but I mean, I don't know. It's still helping people get in this door, seeing what's going on, then being a part of it. And then the amount of times I've had people come to me in my past roles of like just looking you in the eyes and saying thank you. Yeah. And it's just like, because you help them get them here. Yeah, and then,
absolutely.
Then you're helping them be a part of this where they're growing their career and being successful. And so I've always been excited for that. I'm excited for that here now. Yeah. And then, just even seeing where we're going to take this ride.
So for other people who might be in the same boat as you, you know, maybe they've been watching from afar, maybe they've been following us on LinkedIn, or, you know, God forbid, maybe they're watching the podcast, you know. For someone who's been kind of waiting for that right moment to pull the trigger, you know, what would you say to them?
I mean, the first thing I would say is do it. I mean, I would say moving forward for me, I mean, call me, email me, text me, LinkedIn message me. I don't care how people reach out to me, because once we can talk about what's actually going on here, I know you'll be sold just like I was. Yeah. It's just, like I said, it's incredible. I mean, even just, again, my first day here, I think I was telling you about this. I'm like, you feel like an actual person here. Yeah. I mean, I got to do a get to know you sheet and walk around and shake everybody's hands, and just like you're 20 minutes into your first job here, like your day one of being here, and you're already getting to know everybody.
We had you in a couple interviews right after lunch.
You got me right into it.
We jumped right into it.
But even for anybody in any type of role joining here, I'm like, it's just that you're an actual person here, and you really feel that walking in that door that first day. Yeah. I mean, so it's just, somebody's on the fence of considering wanting to learn more, doing a career change. It never hurts to reach out and ask. That's what I always told people too. You may reach out, and this is for any job out there, honestly. I'm full sold on Arsenal here, so come do it. Come talk to me. But I always tell people, I'm like, I want people to be happy where they're going.
Absolutely.
And more than that, with what I'm experiencing here in 2 days, guarantee we have it here. But if for some reason we don't, I'd like to be the person to help you to just figure that out. Yeah. Maybe it isn't for you, and that's okay. But that's where, if people are in the shoes that I've been in, is the biggest thing is take that jump, reach out, and just ask questions. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's funny, we threw him right into the deep end yesterday, and rode shotgun on some interviews, and it was actually cool for you to kind of see it. So cool. From, have them come in, go through the tour, the shadow, and then, we knock out a mock pitch and go through some interview questions. But both of the candidates yesterday, I think when we talked to them on the phone, you're talking about setting appointments and 120 dials and closing deals and getting commission. So, they're hearing about the work and what the reward is and why you would make the leap, but then it never fails. Once they show up here, it's like, oh, wow. Oh, wow, this is what you're doing. Both candidates yesterday said that they were pleasantly surprised that it was different than what they expected it to be.
I mean, and I get it, honestly. From me not being that, I mean, recruiting is sales, don't get me wrong, but not being that full-on sales guy, you tell me you're going to come in here and make 120 calls, I probably would be a little nervous too myself. I mean, just, I don't know, especially if you don't have a background at all in it. I mean, it sounds scary, but then, like you said, you walk in here as a whole different ballgame. I mean, you've got the support, you've got you training them and keeping up with them over that 60-day introductory period. I mean, even for myself today, getting to sit by Zeke today and just shadow him. And I'm not even shadowing to do what he's about, like what he's been doing, but even just seeing how they're doing it and the just how he treated me too. And I know he's treating others like that too. Just here's how I do it. Here's how to be successful. So it's even just the mentorship and the resources that people have here that it sounds scary maybe at first, but once you get in here and actually see it, it's fun.
It is cool. It's a little beehive back there. You've got every couple of rows, you've got a flat screen and a fridge, and people bopping to their own music, and no one here competes over commission. So if I close a deal, I'm not taking food off your plate, and so what that means on the sales floor is that everyone's encouraged to share the secret sauce because it's not going to hurt you at all to help your neighbor. And I'll tell you. A lot of the veterans here, a lot of our top performers, they want to sit with other people who are crushing it. And if their neighbor is, down or having a bad month, they really care about helping their teammates win. And it's just really cool. It's really cool.
It really is. And like I said, that's where I feel like you guys built out something that's awesome. You're clearly successful. Yeah. I mean, I've been a part of stuff in the past where it's like, you do have a teammate next to you, but at the end of the day, you guys are battling over the same stuff. And so, like, yes, you want to help each other, but if you help him out, you're losing it out.
And don't get me wrong, the guys are very competitive.
But that's awesome.
They love to watch the leaderboard and see who's got the most closed deals, appointments. But then again, if you have the most, you're not taken from anybody.
And that's the key. Yeah. I think that's what's making this just so successful is that the key is that you're right. They are competitive. I mean, you can tell there are a lot of athletes out there. Yes. And I'm an athlete myself, and that competitive edge never goes away. So now when you can look at that dashboard and metrics and see where everybody's at, but you're right. You're not hurting anybody if you're beating them. But it's just, it's just, you want to win.
It's cool. It's really cool. Yeah. We've built something special here, and it's not on any one person's shoulders either. It's Aaron obviously owns the company. He does a lion's share of the kind of operations stuff, and that doesn't go unnoticed. But we've got great sales directors. We've got an excellent sales director on the business development side, and then we've got top-notch BDRs and SDRs who, within really 4 weeks, is what we're looking at. They start week 1, they're just getting their feet wet. Week 2, they're starting to find a groove. Week 3, they're starting to actually understand, and then week 4 they're killing it. Right, and then they're on the way, and they start to become specialized in a certain industry. So if you're whether you're an IT client looking for a rep, or maybe you're an IT BDR out there looking for a spot, we have got places for you to come work and make an honest living, make good money. And if you're a client, we've got specialized reps who are looking for the exact opportunities that you can win, right? And they know you can win because they get paid on it. So, it's been a really fun ride, for the first 5.5 years, and I'm very excited to have Trey on board with us here.
Pumped.
It is, it's going to be a blast, I bet.
Yeah, this is the beginning of a lot of really cool things to happen.
Absolutely. So. Well, we just had Mr. Nick Statuto join us in here today. And whenever you're ready, Nick, we're ready for you. So come on in.
Join the fun.
Yeah, we're ready for you, man. How are you doing, Mr. Nick?
I am good, Cameron. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to have you on here, man.
Okay. Thank you, and hello, Troy.
Trey. You won't believe how much I hear that. And then even to my freshman year in college, my roommate was Troy. So we had we had the Trey and Troy room. Dang. You can only imagine people mixing up who was who. Just from the name. We look nothing
you
alike.
You probably mixed each other up, too.
Yeah. I sit over there by Sam, so I get it all the time. Sam and Cam and Sam.
Yep. I'm like, and it's only the beginning of his first week.
Yeah, absolutely. First week out here, so no sweat. But, all right. Thanks for joining us, Nick. What, did you have something specifically you wanted to talk about?
I did. Now, I have had an excellent month this month. You know, 9 appointments for CD Strong so far. Like, you know, of course, some were records I built myself. Some took months of persisting to get the appointment, but that's actually not what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about a couple of
crushing it
appointments that I have not gotten yet, but I did get some great feedback out of them. Out of the calls. There was an HVAC contractor in Michigan. I didn't get a chance to talk to the owner. I spoke to the guy that answers the phones, and he's been telling me that how they've been getting all these scam calls. So I thought he was going to hang up on me, but I did thoroughly explain what we do, and he was actually impressed that we call up these businesses and that we earned their business over the phone. He took my info down and plans to share it with the owner, and he's going to like, oh, you know, we've been getting all these scam calls and yours is the best one. And he says, you know, thanks, advertising guy. And I said, you can call me Nick. But
I don't know. I like advertising guy.
That's funny.
I guess I deserve that now, Trey? Yeah, but you know, it's one of those calls you really have to hear. I shared it with Brock with when it was over. He was impressed that the guy could tell that you know, I was genuine, and that's funny. I kind of had a similar interaction later that day. This was last week. Calling an HVAC contractor in Florida, and told him what I was calling about, and said, if you're serious, I'm your guy. If not, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you wasting my time. So, you know, I talked about everything we were doing, and, you know, he likes it. He just got out of a surgery, and, you know, he's getting his business up and running again. His website is down. So he asked me to call back in a month. But I told him I really liked his no nonsense introduction. And he said that honesty was just so embedded in him that he knows no other way.
Yep.
And, you know, he says that's how I am with people, and that's how I want them to be with me. And I told him that that's exactly how I feel. People are able to tell that about me when they first meet me. So I can earn a person's trust a lot faster and more easily than most people can. And get this, he tells me, I can tell that in your voice. That's why I'm still talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best compliment that I've received in 2025 so far.
I love that. That's a good one. I tell you what, Nick's a straight shooter too. He will tell you how it is.
That's awesome.
He does not beat around the bush. And honestly, you couple that with a little persistence, which, you know, Nick's also 10 out of 10 on the persistence scale. You should see his notebook and his follow-ups that he's got. It's crazy. But he crushes it because, you know, when he calls his clients, he follows that, or calls potential clients or even his clients, you know, prospects. There is no manipulation. There's no persuasion. It is, here it is. Here's what I'm calling. Here's what I want to happen. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? And then if the answer is no, Nick's fine with that. It's like, okay, cool. Well, maybe, right? You try to overcome it, but eventually it's like, all right, well, I'll call you back in a few months. And then Nick is like an iron trap up there. He never forgets about him. He always falls. Like I saw a Nick record, I think it was an HVAC company in Nashville, and it was a lead weight. And I saw with the follow-up, and Casey had called it and then abandoned in queue because he was like, oh, crap, sorry, Nick. I know you're about to call this tomorrow because the follow-up date was for tomorrow. And I ended up on that record, and it was tomorrow. And I was like, you're right. I'm leaving this alone for Nick. He's definitely going to be on it.
So actually, something that I do, and I've probably told you this before, Cameron, you know, when I send out a couple of emails and then, you know, leave a couple of voicemails or can't get to a voicemail, you know, I will do the unthinkable and go to the gatekeeper just so that I can utilize all my resources.
Yeah.
And when I tell them that I'm following up and they're like, okay, he'll call you if he's interested, I say, just have him get back to me, whether it's a yes, no, or maybe.
That's it.
And that way, you know, just get that answer and move on. And I always squeeze in that maybe because somebody may just say no because they're thinking they don't have the time.
Yes.
They don't want to study this. The maybe is enough of a persuasion to like say, hey, we can let's talk in 2 weeks, whatever.
Yes, that is so good. Yeah, I teach almost everybody who comes in here. Before you call somebody, they're already in the pie chart. And imagine a 33% pie chart, 3 equal sections. One's a yes, one's a no, and one's a maybe. They're already there before you call them. So, for example, you're hungry. You go to a restaurant. You don't go to a restaurant to decide, am I hungry? You go there because you know you're hungry. It's just, what am I going to eat?
What am I getting?
Right? And if the waitress says, oh, our soup of the day is me, Cam, I'm out. I'm not a soup guy, right? I was a no even before she told me what kind of soup that was. And it doesn't matter. It could be anything. I'm not about it, right? I'm never going to be a soup guy. Sales is exactly the same way. And our job is to figure out, okay, is this something you'd be interested in? Yeah, sure. Well, maybe I've tried it in the past. Maybe it doesn't work. Or no, I would never do that, right? And our job is not to mess up the yeses. Those are freebies. You don't get a ton of those, just straight yeses. Make sure you don't mess it up. Maybes, you can overcome objections, maybe answer a couple questions. That's the ones where you might be able to persuade them with a case study or something when they're on the fence. And then the no is just, hey, get it, totally got it, not a great fit. When do you want to hear from me again? Because I do think you're a good fit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have called you. But when should I follow up? And then we know what to do with the rest of the answers. And that's sales in general.
That is more calling for Arsenal than calling for clients because, people don't call us. We don't call for our clients and like, yeah, our roof hasn't been touched in 15 years. There's leaks everywhere. We have all these buckets, but I don't know if we want to have somebody come out and give us a free inspection and quote.
That person's a yes, though. That person's a yes.
Exactly.
Before you called. They had leaks before you called.
But my point is there's not a lot of room for maybes in those situations. That's what I'm saying.
Specifically, yeah, I totally get that. And I think, too, in roofing, HVAC, even cleaning to some degree, there's really not a maybe bucket. It's usually like, do you have buckets in the hallway collecting water or don't you? It's usually just yes or no. But then, you never know. I think, storm damage, hail damage, or even if they haven't looked in a while, it's worth at least getting somebody up there to see. And those are where your maybes are, but you don't get a ton of them.
See, the maybes, I think it's more of a not now than a maybe. And again, there were projects there were appointments I booked this month that took months to get. And they said, we have this roofing project we plan to do in a few months. Call me then. Yeah. And then, that gets delayed longer as well. Now, mind you, the two I'm thinking of were government projects. So, that could have to do with it as well. But the point is, it can take it can take months for that to happen, but it's not necessarily a maybe. It's more of a not now.
Right.
Yeah. It's like nurturing them.
Exactly.
And that's where I go back to thinking how recruiting and sales is so much alike. Because whether, I'm not selling a product, but even from the recruiting side of things, I may reach out to somebody to come work here and timing may not be right for them. So it's like, I'm not going to say no from now. I'm going to nurture them. Reach out in another couple days, weeks, months. You never know. I mean, I've hired people in the past that I talked to them for probably 2 years, I bet.
Yeah.
We got lunch, maybe a couple months every once in a while type of thing. It's like, it just wasn't the right time for them. And it's just, career changes are huge. Just like buying a product or service is huge. So I get it. That's where I go back to, it is very comparable. And I get exactly what you're saying. Like, sometimes it's just timing.
Yep. It is timing. And that's, honestly, if you're a prospective client looking, not only is Nick Statuto, one of our top reps for roofing, he's trying to break into HVAC with us too, but he is persistent. He is a dog. He will not be shut down. He will work the process about as good as anyone does. And that's all we're really here to do. We can't control what they're going to say, but we know what to do with them. and how to follow up with them after we get the answer. And Nick's one of the best out there at doing that. So if you are a prospective client and considering, roofing or HVAC or really anything at this point, I bet Nick could run that process for any client looking for a solid, persistent rep. He's your guy. So really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Nothing at the moment. I was just excited about those memorable calls. The guy in Florida in particular made a great impression with me. I even said in my notes, I love this guy. Every once in a while, somebody says something encouraging, and it could even be in their voicemail, and you just think, I would love to work for them.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And that's why another one of those things, when I see everything you guys are doing here, even stuff like this and you telling these stories, that's what's helping the success of here. Like letting people know what is happening here.
Yeah.
And those stories you just shared, I mean, like it goes a long way.
This is why I like to come on the podcast, is to share stories.
Yeah. That's what it's for. That's perfect. And we love having you on.
Yep.
Thank you.
So that's awesome.
But that's a wrap for me.
That's a wrap. You got to go back to dialing?
Yes, I do.
All right. He's got a job to do, folks.
Some records to build as well.
I love that.
Get him.
I love it. Give it up for Nick Statuto, everybody. Hey. Very nice. Very nice. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Of course.
Really appreciate it. Nick's awesome. Nick also has a knack for stand-up. Mm-hmm. He does stand-up occasionally on Thursday nights at Steve's Hot Dogs.
That is amazing.
Perfect. And then it's pretty sweet. Actually, you a big fantasy football guy?
I love fantasy football.
So we've got an office league.
Guess I'm about to win it.
It's a bloodbath. This past year, we had a certain employee get randomly selected to... when we have an opening, i.e. someone drops out of they don't want to do it this year, or maybe they move on, they're in a different position, different company. So we have an opening and it's a 10-man league. So we had a couple openings, and we had a particular employee who wouldn't necessarily have picked to be on the year-long fantasy football team, but he wanted to do it, and he bought in, so we let him, and he knew he wasn't staying here.
Oh, no.
So he drafted... drafted CMC first.
Oh, man.
And then...
Which a lot of people did.
CJ Stroud.
Okay.
And then the rest of the Texans roster. Tank Dell, Nico Collins.
Everybody that got hurt.
Actually, the person... And this person didn't stay with us for very long after he drafted, and he knew what he was doing. But what had happened was it shorted the draft. So it was like we were drafting with 9. So everyone else was juiced.
Yeah.
And... It was a really fun year. But anyways, the point of me telling the story is the punishment this year is that you also have to do stand-up comedy at Steve's Hot Dogs with Nick if you lose.
Amazing.
And we're very excited.
When is this?
It's actually going to be coming up in February. So Evan Wolf was our loser this year. We did not have a lower league. So usually we've got a B league where if you are last place, not only do you have to do the punishment, but you get relegated to the lower league. And you've got to win the lower league to make it back up to the 10-man. And the lower league doesn't have a set number of spots. So if there's 32 people who want to do it, it'll be a 32-man league. It's pretty sweet. But
sweet, but so hard.
Oh, that's even more of a bloodbath.
I think I've done like 15 people weeks, and that's even hard.
But we held off on it this year. So Evan gets to stay, and we did make a modifier for next year. We're going to run it back with Steve's Hot Dogs next year.
Love it.
We get to write the jokes.
Heck yeah. This is some Practical Joker stuff.
Yeah. Please, maybe no recording that one, Matt. Maybe we'll just have an overview. You could probably record this year. Evan's already writing his jokes and stuff.
I was going to say, so when is that?
Well, he's in like a hockey a men's ice hockey league, which is on Thursdays nights. So I think he's got like 3 or 4 more weeks of that, and then he should be good to go. And we were like, yeah, of course. You happen on one night of the week. You're playing hockey on Thursdays. But no, he's down. He's already writing jokes. It should be mid-February, Matt. Mid-February.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, let me know.
Okay. We're thinking after Valentine's Day, I think.
Be amazing.
It's going to be awesome. But yeah, what do we got on deck next?
I was gonna say, how is New Biz doing right now?
New Biz. Okay, so we're in a little bit of an emergency. Not really, but Sam hasn't sold a deal in 6 days.
That's what I heard today.
He started the first week with 7 deals, and then he's sold 1 since then. So we're just trying to cheer him on. Just trying to cheer him on, man. He's had 4 or 5 excellent pitches today. They've all gone the distance. Aaron is covering one today who booked today. Usually same-day appointments are very, very good for you. Aaron's running that one now. That's why he's a little late or might even be absent because he's closing a deal. But, yeah, we're trying to pick our teammate up. I've got my SDR crew over there humming. We are making up some ground. We had a little bit of a slow start to begin the month when we were selling all the deals. And now we've picked it back up. And so, I don't know if you want to run it back with a second sales tip. It's maybe too much value in one podcast, but start making people subscribe or pay to it. But, what we say in sales is usually the work you do today, you won't see the results of that for another couple weeks to a month. So, when you're a little low on deals, you can always ramp it up, but it's usually 2 weeks too late. Or maybe a week too late, right? So, yeah, that's really our focus is to ramp it up, make sure we can, end the month on a strong note, start off the year really strong. But, looking at Sam's pipeline, I'm not worried at all. Yeah. I'm not worried at all. It's got a very robust pipeline, anywhere from 12 to 16 deals I saw that are just right there waiting to pop. So we're playing a little money ball. Yeah. We're just holding out, doing all the right things continuously every day in, day out. So that way, there is no slump. It's just buying cycles.
And that's another example of why it's so awesome to be here. And even being a part of it, being like from the outside of not being in the full on sales team and just seeing what you guys are doing. And even just if you're a non-employee listening and watching this and stuff like that, that's amazing. I mean, it's one of those things where I guarantee you probably go somewhere else and you don't make as many deals like Sam's in right now. And it's just, you're probably getting your hand slapped. You're probably feeling it more than what you really should. And here you got people patting you on the back, rooting you on, helping as any way they can. I mean, that's just where I love it. It's a legit full team here.
That's it. And we try, it all builds on each other. So when new people start, they'll go find their own clients. They'll set up meetings for Sam to run. And then when Sam closes a deal, that client can then select a rep of their choice. So, it's in the SDR's best interest to set them up on a tee for Sam. So that way he can close them and they can go get clients. And then the same thing happens when they're working on your behalf too. If you're a prospective client or someone looking at joining Arsenal, you're doing the same exact thing that you learned in your intro period when you go get clients. You're setting up meetings that you think they can go close, so you get commission on them. So there's really no gap in transition from SDR to BDR, and we need all pieces of the team to be working in order for us to make as much money as we can, both the client and the rep here. So. Of course we cheer them on. It's in our DNA, it's in our blood, and same thing happens when you're a client too. If you're in a little bit of a slump, haven't closed a deal in a month or maybe 2, right? Don't panic. Number 1 rule: do not panic. Get out proposals. Maybe we can fine tune what we're saying in the pitch to land the appointment a little bit better. But number 1 thing: never panic, and just know that if you're doing the right activities day in, day out, you're hitting your metrics, success is inevitable, right? It's going to find you. And that's what it's all about.
It's got its valleys. I mean, not to keep comparing to recruiting, but it's the same thing. The same. I mean, you reach out to these people, come check this out. You will probably get told no, and it sucks. You're sitting there. I'm like, I can't get a win. That's why I always call them. When you get somebody hired, I'm like, it's a valley. And I'm like, it's a valley. I mean, you go up and down, and then there's days where it's like everybody wants to work here, and everybody's reaching out to Trey, and I'm like, this is amazing. This is easy, type of thing. And then awesome. you get back to reality a little bit. So I get it. I do. It can be hard, but that's what's so great about here. Like it is like a true, and I'm a big sports guy, so I'll use sports analogies all day. It's like, it is a sports team. I mean, everybody's got their back trying to win.
It's true. It's 100% true. Have you ever been in a slump?
All the time.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, whether it's real playing baseball like I've done, I mean, that happens all the time. And again, in recruiting and hiring, I mean, 100%. You got a specialized position too. That's always, I used to call them the purple squirrels.
Yeah.
We need this one particular guy to do this one type of thing that's very hard to do.
Yep.
Then you have to go out there and reach out to a million people, because you can post jobs and pray and hope somebody actually sees it and applies to it. That just doesn't happen as much these days anymore. But I mean, yeah, it's just reaching out, cold calling, messaging, doing those passive LinkedIn messages, and just it can feel like days go by and nobody's even, whether they're not responding, just getting all the no's again. And that's where it's like, you feel like you're in a slump. Like, I can't find this person that.
Do you have any like slump buster rituals?
You know, I'm going to say no, but I mean, when I think of just all the tech, again, I've been doing this for like 9 years. So it's like, you always like, I'm saying it this way. And it's the same, I know it's the same thing in sales. Like you're saying it this way. I'm like, I need to say it differently.
Yeah.
I need to
highlight something.
I need to highlight something different. Like, it's just really taking a step back and looking like, here's what I've been doing that's not working. Let's just change it up. And what's the worst case that could happen?
That's actually really crazy. We are packing this podcast with content today, but that's so true because, you know, we always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Right. And so if something's not working, make a tweak, but something happens in your brain when you make a change. Well, something's happening in your brain when you're getting smoked too. It's like, oh my God, where's my win? Where's this going to come from? Do I sound bad? Is this the pitch? Do I need to change something? And then you're negative about it. You're like, oh man, I got to make another call.
Yeah.
This guy was grumpy with me last time. And all of a sudden these negative thoughts are coming in. But the second you make that change, you're telling your brain, I'm doing something different. I am hopeful that I will get a different outcome. And that positive assumptive that you are imagining something different and positive happening to you, a lot of times that is the only missing ingredient. You weren't saying anything wrong. You weren't saying it wrong. You didn't believe that it was going to work. And that was it.
Yep. And again, back to what I've been saying, that's what's amazing about here is that whether it's sales or recruiting and some like backgrounds or experiences I've had in my past, like there's those jobs where like you're in that slump, nothing's working. And I'm in here now in a funk thing. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
How do I get out of this funk? And then I've been in roles where it's just like, people like, stay away from Trey. Like, he's in a funk. I don't want that to rub off on me. And you're just not seeing that here. Again, from the videos I've seen before I even started here, the 2 days I've been here, you see somebody experiencing that, is that you're getting people closer to you, side by side with you to like, let's get you out of this. And I love it.
100%. 100%. We pick each other up. I was telling Trey earlier, just kind of the background story of Arsenal. That's what was so hard when COVID first hit and we were working from home. It's like, I had almost 10 years experience at that point because I'd done it straight, you know, since I was 17. And it's like, do I suck at this? do I need to go do something? I'm not even kidding. I was staring at my dog in the basement in my office, and I'm just talking to my dog like, do I need to go do something else? Did I make a serious mistake? And honestly, you're not getting that uplifting feedback. You're on an island. You're all by yourself. Unless you know
alone.
You're Conor McGregor, the baddest man on the planet. You're like, oh my God. And doubt starts to creep in. And then you've got no one picking you up where you got smoked. And it's like, hey, brush off, Trey. You sound great, man. Keep it going. You do that 100 times, you're going to win, babe.
100%.
It's like, dude, that makes you feel good, right?
It does.
Or if you're all by yourself, got smoked, it's like, oh, dude, I suck. I need to change something. It's not working, you know? And that's a big part of why we're an in-office company. We do work from home Wednesdays. And then if you're on sales team 6, some of our top performers, they get an additional day. But that's why we think it's so important, especially for new people, to be in the office. Feel the culture, feel the vibes, get feedback from anyone you can. Just be a sponge. And before you know it, you don't even know how much. I met with Justin Webb earlier today, and he made a comment about his first few calls and what he sounds like now. The words are the same. He's reading the script off Balto. But the way it sounds and the reactions he's getting, that's the progression. And, you know, say what you want. I'm the trainer, but I don't do a lot with people who have got the hang of it. They just need to iron out the kinks.
Get the
and all
confidence.
of a sudden that confidence comes through, and it's like, boom, they get it, and they start to explode. And I'll tell you what, Justin Webb did struggle with the pitch. Fast forward 30 days, he is at the top of the leaderboard.
So cool.
And it's not perfect either.
Yeah.
But he's still ripping. He's
like you
doing
said,
it.
the confidence gets there.
Absolutely.
It changes that tone.
Absolutely. So that's great. You know, three sales tips in one. I think we better pump the brakes here,
Save
Matt.
some stuff for later.
I don't know. They're going to have to start charging for it, you know? So what do we got up next?
Do we want to get into proposals and closed deals?
Yeah, I think we had some good ones to share. I'm not.
We just dropped today. We dropped Caden's. What is it? 4. Hold on 1 second.
So I've got a couple of them here. So I've got
4.76 mil in roofing proposals.
You think we can go back to Friday? Did we do one Friday?
No. Let's go ahead and hit it.
So starting that Friday in the IT side of things, we had Mason, and I can use client names, right? Okay. So Mason and .net, they got out a proposal for 35,000 MRR. He also had mentioned at Intermission today, they got out a secondary proposal for 25,000 MRR, which they expect to have signed by Friday, he said.
Heck yeah.
Mark in SNH got out 2 separate proposals, one for 6K MRR, one for 4,200 MRR. Tanner with Akua got out a proposal for 3,000 MRR. And then D1 Defend and Zeke got out $2,000 for a network assessment this afternoon as well. And that's just from Friday.
Yeah.
That's huge. Some people, back in the day, we'd talk to IT companies who are small. They'd be lucky to get some of those in a year. I had a client once in Philly who had been in business for 30 years, and he had 30 clients. 1 client a year for 30 years.
Wow.
And, yeah. Hey, it's okay.
It is okay.
It is okay.
Yeah.
If you want to take your, 2-week vacation to the beach and go with your family and run your business, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's probably not a great fit for us, but it's okay.
Yep.
Totally cool. Anyways, roofing. Oh man. I'm gonna go back to Friday on this one too. Jeez, holy smokes! So we got a small one. Dylan got coverall a proposal for $250 MRR. Small job.
Something.
Exactly. It's green.
Yep.
Money's green. Rashawn got out a Service Master proposal for 4,700 MRR. Matt Bonebreak with RMS Orlando got out a proposal for 58,000 ARR. Caden, this is the one you were talking about? Yeah, Caden, an Alliance Roofing. Oh my goodness. Caden has an open spot, by the way. So if you are a prospective client, take a listen to these numbers. Alliance Roofing got out some quotes today for $4.7 million. Wow. 3 separate re-roofs, one for $1.4 million, one for $1.5 million, and one for $1.7 million.
Dang.
Yeah. Quick math. What's 5% of 4.7 million? It's got to be fat, right?
You got your phone out. I'll let you do that math.
Yeah. 4, 7, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's enough zeros.
Heroes.
Times 0.05. Do you want to guess? Do you any idea?
I don't even want to guess. I heard a lot of zeros.
$235,000.
That's
crazy.
That is crazy.
And that's why our reps work so hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a revenue sharing client and you're getting out proposals, these guys will walk to the end of the earth for you because they are just as motivated to grow and prosper in their lives as you are running your business. So Caden Mitchell, one of the best out there. And then to seal it off here, we've got Hilo Commercial from Rashawn, got out 2 proposals for 2 different manufacturers at 3,700 MRR and 4,700 MRR. And then we actually did have one more from Rashawn in there as well for our HVAC client, Smart Air Solutions. They sent out a proposal today for a 4-unit repair right around $150,000 pending approval from the prospect. And I think he had mentioned they have a total of 15 units there.
Yeah.
And they were just starting with the 4. So really, really good traction.
Love hearing it.
Roofing and IT. So it's been very productive. But
that's stacked for sure.
I mean, juiced. Absolutely juiced. It's not every day we get to go through proposals like that. So
that's
great.
That just leaves us with current events. What's going on?
Oh, man. We were just talking about this. It's been... I'm not saying it's a slow news week. It's just been a busy week for us.
It has. I started here.
Poor Trey. We still have to finish orientation. We got halfway through orientation.
We have plenty of time.
Then we had to do interviews. And then today we were like right immediately into the weeds. So we should probably knock that out before we get out of here today. But I guess JFK, MLK files are out. Or at least some of them are coming out. I'm not sure we've learned anything crazy. Basically, what I've read so far is that there was a fragment of JFK's skull that was like 25 feet away from them or something crazy. And they don't know what part of it was. I don't know if that's like headline news.
It's crazy.
Do you think Trump just released them to tell us what we already knew?
I mean, give him a taste. I don't know.
And then, the MLK files were exactly what we also already knew. I think had been in some leaks. He, participated in some behavior that makes us human.
Yep.
And everyone's human. Yep. So I don't think anyone really cares or holds it against him. Maybe, maybe it was shocking for some people. I mean, he did win a Nobel Peace Prize, so maybe, but I don't think many folks were shocked.
I'd say probably not.
Yeah, I haven't really been excited too far. I mean, I watched a lot of it. Are you a big history guy?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, my dad was huge into history. So if there was a Brown sign anywhere on a road trip, we stopped.
That's
I've been to the house of the guy who framed the Declaration of Independence.
No way.
Fun fact, that guy also had the Civil War. Civil War? American Revolution started and ended in his front yard.
No way.
Yeah, same guy.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. He moved to get away from it, and then it ended in his front lawn. So growing up, me and my dad watched a ton of these history shows, and it turns out they lost JFK's brain for a while.
Yep, and I knew that.
Yeah, and it was like being stored in a soup pot with a lid, one of those big soup pots, and they just can't find it. So if you're watching this and you have JFK's brain, give it back, dude. It might help.
I just don't think we'll ever know where it's at.
It was with all those moon rocks. Yeah. Did you see that?
I did.
Legitimately, they lost like almost every moon rock we had collected from the moon because they just gave them out for universities to study. And they never gave them back, or they lost them, or they disintegrated, and we lost all our moon rocks.
How do you lose stuff like that?
It's the 70s, bro.
It's not like you just walk down the street and grab those.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they're pretty radioactive, right?
I think so.
Maybe not safe. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but the Geiger counter doesn't lie, man. But yeah, I guess MLK, JFK files are out. There's some pretty good football.
We know the Super Bowl matchup.
We do. Who do you have?
It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm tired of the Chiefs, man. I really am. When the Rams left, everybody went to a team. I think most people went to the Chiefs. I'm not saying I don't like them, but I'm also not saying I love them either.
I haven't picked anybody
since
the Rams left.
I'm probably going to be, and I would say the same here. I
fair weather fan.
I just like football.
Yep.
Fantasy football. I like my guys.
Sure.
But I mean, I don't know. It would be cool to see three-peat. Don't get me wrong. I've got my wife and my daughter at home who are huge Taylor Swift fans, so that's all it's ever about whenever the Chiefs are on. So the house is definitely Chiefs, but I will say, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing something different going on.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I kind of like the villain or the heel winning all the time. It makes it fun. I feel bad for Josh Allen.
That's got to suck.
Come on. Because, he lost last year at home, and they said, you got to work on your turnovers. You got to work on, not getting sacked so much. Well, they scored 88 points in 2 games. He had 900 yards passing, 300 yards rushing, didn't get turned over, didn't get sacked, still lost.
He's doing his job.
Poor guy, dude. Poor guy. Yeah. So, a couple of good football games, Super Bowl coming up. I like the Chiefs. I like them. I want to see it.
I think they'll win.
I
really do.
I'm a history fan. I want to see history.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, I don't not like them, but I don't love them either. And
I heard a crazy stat about Patrick Mahomes. In the final 4 minutes of a playoff football game, to march down the field and score the go-ahead score within 4 minutes of the fourth quarter in a playoff game, Tom Brady was 5 for 11. And we remember all the wins.
Mm-hmm.
We remember him marching down the field quite a few times.
Yep.
Drew Brees was 3 for 6.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes is 7 for 7 on game-winning drives in the playoffs with 4 minutes or less in the fourth quarter.
Is that Patrick Mahomes 7 for 7, or is that the NFL refs? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's a huge thing out there. I don't think the refs have anything to do with it. I do think Mahomes is just incredibly good. I mean, it's
a little both. My coach, I don't know about you. My coach always used to say in baseball, if the play comes down to, or if the game comes down to one error, one call from the ump, one pitch, one at bat, we didn't do it what it took as a team to win.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does come down to that stuff, but you really want to win with some conviction. You don't. And I feel the same way about some of these calls. It's like, oh, was it a catch? Or
and it's just how many there are.
Josh
too.
Allen get across the line? What was the other one?
Oh,
There was one more in that game, I think. That was
the Josh Allen was the big one.
questionable. Him diving, I guess. But if that really changes the outcome of the game, did you do enough? And it's like we just talked about Josh Allen. I think he played about as good as he could have. Even on the last play, he put it in Kincaid's hands.
No. And I hear you. I think you should not let it come down to one play, one call.
It's every time, though.
But it's how many times that happens.
Do you think it's under a magnifying glass because it does happen so frequently? And then, because I feel like that stuff probably happens in a lot of football games, but it's not hyped up as much as the champs. Everyone wants to beat the champs, right?
Yeah.
And so,
I don't know. Like I said, I do think they're good. I'm not saying they're not, but I also think the NFL wants to see Taylor Swift happy.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because when she's happy, the fans are happy. The fans are happy. The fans are watching the football games. There's the ratings.
Are you a Jason Kelce guy?
I love Jason Kelce.
Did you watch that Eagles game?
Uh-huh.
You saw both centers down?
Yep.
Did you have the same thought?
I wish it would have happened.
What if he comes back?
I
for the
wish it
Super
would've
Bowl.
happened.
You think he could? He probably could.
I bet he could, yeah.
For one game in the Super Bowl.
I mean, he's a busy guy he's got his own podcast.
He'll be there, I'm
He's got
sure.
his
His
own show.
brother's
I'll
there.
definitely be there, but I mean, come on. I would love to see it.
Let him do it. Both centers are down. You might as well, Philly.
He makes them better.
You're not going to win the Super Bowl. You might as well let Jason play. I mean,
I say he makes them better.
Oh, I don't know, Matt. Is there anything else?
I was going to say, Trey, do you have anything else to say to the people before we leave? What are you looking for in recruitment? And, what are you excited?
Yeah,
for,
who should apply here? What
are
kind
we
of
doing?
candidates should apply here?
I mean, everybody in a way, but I mean, people that are hungry, man. I mean, I've always said this too. People that I've always seen successful in any job, it's the people that want to come in and they want to learn, they want to grow, they want to be successful. And because I will say, and I'm 2 days in, and I'm seeing it. I promise. Like the resources and the help is here, but that can only go so far.
Yeah.
You yourself too, specifically. Can only hold a hand for so long
Sure.
and so much. So somebody that does come in and takes that, but then also wants they have that drive to want to be successful and
They
take
run
what you're
with it.
offering and run
Yeah.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the success, and I think that's where you'll see all the happy faces, and then that's just it all flows from that. So I mean, yeah, if you're even second guessing things and a career change, that's where I go back to what I was saying earlier. Reach out to me. I mean, we're happy to talk through things, whether it works out or whether even if it doesn't. I'm more than happy to be that person that even tells you like it just isn't for you. But even though, like I said, the ones that I think would love it, would be successful, are the ones that have that drive. They have the competitiveness. Like I said, you don't have to be an athlete by any means, but you notice a lot of athletes in this type of role, and shouldn't even say role, in industry and sales, recruiting, all that stuff, because that competitiveness is still in them. And I think that's what you see where the success comes from.
Absolutely. Also, if you play slow pitch softball, we could use a right fielder too if you're considering looking for a career change.
I do enjoy some slow pitch softball myself. So,
do you?
I do.
You hit nukes?
I'd like to say so. Yeah, I
hit a nuke
usually
once.
play a little shortstop, third base, and so you just put me where I'm needed, though.
I could use you. I could use you.
You got my
Shortstop,
number.
third base. Let's make that happen. That's it. We're out of here.
I love this.
Isn't it fun?
It's so fun.
It's a good time. See you.